What's going on, everyone? Sean and Jay back with Kickstarter Corner. We've got a big one for you guys this week. I've got 2 ongoing campaigns, a review on a Kickstarter, because I realize I've been very, very bad at doing that after the fact. So, slap on the wrist for Sean. And then I've got one other one that the campaign is already closed, but I'm still going to talk about it because it just looks awesome. Okay. And then Jay has a few himself. I'm not entirely sure. How many you got?
I got 3.
Okay, so he's got 3. So like I said, this is going to be a big one. I'm just going to get this disclaimer out of the way before we get going. If we mispronounce anybody's name, first, we apologize. 2, don't be afraid to tell us in the comments or message us on how to pronounce it properly so that moving forward we always make sure we get it right. That's something that we really try to do as best we can.
Yes.
So with that said, we're going to jump right into it. This first one, actually, I might have lied. This first one is a campaign I think that just closed. So I actually only have 1 ongoing campaign. So I'm sorry for lying at the top of the video. But this is one that we all know. This will be a book that I'm sure is available to the general public at some point, because that's actually how I learned about the character in general, is they're in local comic shops. But Lady Death from Coffin Comics. The creator is Brian Pulido. As I understand, I was listening to Miss Jen, who owns our comic shop, and Jenna talk. Apparently Brian had lost the rights to this character for a little while, or Coffin did at least, and she kind of was in limbo. And I think they finally got the thing back. If I am wrong about this, please let me know. But I'm pretty sure I heard something about that. Like the character bounced around for a little while.
You know, what's crazy enough about this is not a character that I've ever read, but I've seen figures and statues of her, and I know of her because I believe Jeremy Clark, what is Jeremy?
So what hasn't Jeremy worked on?
Yeah, what hasn't Jeremy worked on? He's what are they called though? He does the line work, I believe is what he does.
Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember what it's called, but he does a lot of the line work in a lot of comics. But that's how I knew about Lady Death.
Yeah, I knew about it because they actually had a #1 of one of the other series. So I actually have that, read it, and thought the character was really cool. Turns out they actually have, I think, like a $35 hardcover trade of that particular storyline too. So I'll probably pick that up sometime down the road. But as I mentioned, the creator and writer is Brian Pulido. It's co-written by Mike McLean, illustrated by Diego Bernard. Hi-Fi color artist is Brian Miller, and Marshall Dillon is the letterer. So, yeah.
2 things.
Okay.
Marshall Dillon. That is a cool name. I cannot remember the show from back in the day, but there was an old Western where the Marshal was named Dillon, so they called him Marshall Dillon. So cool name. That, for one. The second thing is, I just found out the other day that Mr. McLean and myself share the same birthday, September 14th. So I thought that was kind of cool when I learned that. So awesome.
Not a coincidence that this comic happened to end up in this video. It's really not. But yeah, so for anybody who has not checked out Lady Death, you need to go to Coffin Comics website. The character's been around for a long time. There are a crap ton of books. This time around, I was lucky. I grabbed a hardcover of this particular #1, which is not something that I'm really used to finding, is a hardcover of a single issue. So I got that, and let me tell you, that was a tough decision. You can ask Jay. I was texting him for like 30 or 40 minutes trying to decide between like 4 covers.
Yeah.
And we all finally were just like, they were like, dude, if it's only that much for a hardcover, just get that. So that's what I did. Not to mention the fact that the campaign went to like $430 some odd thousand. I mean, the people came in spades for this thing, which was awesome to see. But I'm going to have like 35 extras.
Yeah, I was fixing to ask you, how many stretch goals did they unlock with that campaign?
They fell short of the very last one. Whew. So I literally will get all the others, which is about 35 or 6. So
and for stuff like that, as far as stretch goals are concerned, usually if you just get a physical copy of something, you get all the stretch goals.
Right.
So even if you had gotten the cheapest
Yep.
copy of what it was, that's a lot of bang for your buck right there.
Oh, it's no doubt, but hardcover.
Exactly. Can't pass it up.
Take my money.
You cannot pass it up.
Or in my case,
Yeah. Swipe my card.
swipe my card. But yeah, so like I said, head on over to Coffin Comics website. Check out Lady Death. I think they have several other characters, but literally they have this entire universe with a crap ton of characters aside from her. Some of them I haven't even heard about yet, so I'm actually excited. I'm getting these character cards. That's a lot of what these stretch goals are, so I'm going to get to learn a lot about these characters when I get it in. So definitely be on the lookout for that in the coming months, because when I get that, it's going to take me a while to unbox all that stuff.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of me doing this and this.
Yes.
So just be ready.
That is awesome. All right, so we're kind of doing a AB flip flop here. He's going to talk about one, and I'm going to talk about one. And the one I want to talk about is Gilgamesh by Cam Kirkau. This was the story of Gilgamesh basically retold as a comic book. The art was by, and again, like we said at the top of the video, if we mispronounce, please put it phonetically, however you can, to help us out, so I can get your name right from now on. But the art is by Kostas Pantelos. It's lettered by Mira Mortal, and the cover artist was Nolan N. Nassar. Now, Cam is less than $500 away from his goal, and this ends on September 28th. I found this through Garrett Gunn sharing a post about it. I went and checked it out, and I was like, okay, this actually seems really cool, because even though this is kind of the world's first story, I don't know too much about Gilgamesh. And it's been around since it's the first story ever told.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Don't feel bad. I'm right there with you, so this would be something cool. Not to mention just to see what the comic spin on it would be like and whatnot. You know, because I can imagine that the other stories are not quite as illustrated.
That's true. Now, if you want to hear more about this one and the next one I'm going to talk about, I did a video for, and we'll post a link to that down there, so I don't get too long-winded with stuff I've already talked about. But this one ends September 28th, and it looks like it's going to be really good. He's got some art panels up. We'll have all the Kickstarter links down there too. He's got some art panels up. The art looks crazy good. The art looks so beautiful. And you know, I really want this cover, so I'm hoping we can get this thing funded.
Got 2 weeks. Come on, folks.
Yeah, come on. Let's
Get on.
let's hope we get that $500.
Alrighty, so this next one was, is the most recent one for sure. I just kind of was zimming around on Kickstarter last week, happened to see it, and I was like, oh, this looks cool, so I saved it so that I can take more time, because I was being a bad boy. I was at work on break looking this up. So I didn't have the time to really devote to reading about it. So saved it, and I got a reminder email, thankfully. Jumped back on, and it's called Century House. This looks freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
A superhero tale during World War II. I love it. That's basically what it is. The creator is Ryan Cummins, who also, I believe, is the owner and creator of Skeletal Press. So keep an eye out for them, because I know he's got a couple of other series that are actually already ongoing. One of which already has 3 issues. So definitely keep that in mind. If I remember right, actually I got the entire digital bundle coming, so I will get pretty much almost his entire works going.
Is it Rumble Kings?
Yeah, Rumble Kings.
Okay.
1 through 3. So I'll be getting that along with issue 1 of Century House. Art is done by Erwin Arosa, who also did the cover art on the main title. So he is the
cool.
exterior and interior artist.
Oh, that's cool.
But they also have about 4 or 5 variants. Stan Yak was one.
Yeah.
Brian Belando, another one. God, I can't remember the other names, and I do apologize. I forget, but I want to say there's at least 4 variants, all super cool, all a very different take. Jay's favorite was the Staniak because there's a giant gorilla on it and this and that.
Yes, it was very cool.
So, and that one's kind of a telling cover because it makes you wonder, is that going to be in the book? Because none of the other covers hint about like giant gorillas and this and that. It's just the main hero. You just see the heroes and or villains on every other cover. So that kind of alludes to it. And none of the pages that they show you as a preview that I can recall show that. They also have, for anybody that's like a noir fan, they have a Noir Edition in just black and white. And that looks just as awesome as it does in color. I can say that with full honesty, having looked at it in my opinion, at least. And I'm an art snob, but we all are. So I am very excited. We're going to put the link to that Kickstarter because it literally, I want to say, just started within the last week. So it's got 28 some odd days I think left to go. So let's help them get to their goal, get it funded, because I want to see them do well so that we can get to more issues from these guys and and help these small companies really kind of get going, because that is my whole goal. If in talking about it and something, if even one of you guys that watches this decides they want to go and back it, I'm happy. So definitely check out Century House. Again, link will be down in the description to all the active Kickstarters that we were talking about today, so that you guys can check them out for yourself.
Exactly. Always be on the lookout. The best thing about these Kickstarter books is if they do well, you're gonna get another issue. And some of these are so good. Like this next one I'm going to talk about, for me, there's a funny story about this, and then I'll get into it and let you know what it is. This particular person had sent us an email with some digital, I think it was digital copies of 1 and 2, a long time ago. Well, they got lost in our email. And one day I happened to be going through our email, and I found them. And I read it, and I was like, man, I can't believe we missed this. And this is going to be Immortal Era. And this particular one is Immortal Era number 5, or 1 through 5. Because the creator always puts back issues. He has, and I mean, these are so affordable. This is one of the campaigns that breaks my rule. I usually have a rule when it comes to Kickstarter. It's I will back 1 or 2 issues, and then I'll wait for the trade, because I will go broke with some of these campaigns. But this is by Edward Davis from Finish Line Comics. It's already funded, and it ends on October 4th. Now, this one, the art is by Cesar Oliveira. It's colored by Viviani Spinelli, and it's lettered by Manny Hernandez. And ever since that first campaign, I get an issue every time a campaign drops for this. I can't help it. The price is so good. It amazes me, because the quality of book you get for the price of the issue you get. Now, there's a lot of people that, $8, $10 for a single issue, that's crazy. Well, you got to understand where this money goes, and that is to help fund the next issue, to help pay the artist, help pay the stretch goals, because the stretch goals aren't free. These people pay for that out of pocket. So that's why. But this one, I cannot help it. Every time Edward drops, and Edward's a good friend of the channel, every time it drops, I gotta get it. But that is Immortal Era number 5. Go and check it out. It's an awesome story. Very not your usual like dystopian world kind of story. Not your. It's kind of like a zombie story, but not really. It's the basic premise is someone kills death, nobody can die, and that's all I'm gonna give you for that. But yeah, Immortal Era number 5. Go and check that out.
Yeah, so basically, they're exploring what happens when you can't die in a world like that, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Edward, I don't know how you came up with that, but genius.
Yeah, that's a good. It's
Genius.
good. It's good.
All right, so this next one, like I said, I only had really one that was inactive. This next one, I decided to, like I said, I'm terrible about following up after I get my Kickstarters to actually read and talk about them. So with that said, this is actually going to be a little bit of a review, but I also want to bring everybody, up to speed on this, because I guarantee as successful as the first campaign was, they're going to do another, so I can't wait. So with that said, I'm here to talk about Spider Squirrel, #1. This one was really, really cool. The hero is, I'm not entirely sure like what all of his power set is yet. I can see that he can shoot energy beams. He's very agile because he does a lot of flipping off of buildings. But the name doesn't imply what you would think, so to speak, because one of the other characters is a panda, and it's a bald dude that morphs into a panda.
Wow.
But Spider Squirrel is literally just in his suit the whole time. You see him. He's definitely got a little bit of strength. He's definitely tough because you see him fall from like heights, and then he'll fall and he'll be able to get back up.
Oh.
But the premise of this particular story is he's trying to get his buddy, the panda, is trying to set him up on a date to get a girlfriend. And in the midst of all of this, he's like, this one's like too blah blah blah, just that kind of thing. Well, then all of a sudden this villain pops up, and this villain though is not from their universe.
Wow.
That's kind of what this is. Well, I shouldn't say universe. Their timeline.
Oh.
The villain gets transported like 30 years into the future.
Oh.
So they're fighting. Well, right in the middle of the fight, he's coming at him, and then this is where the fun in the comic goes. Spider Squirrel starts going through time, and that is kind of why I chose the cover I did for this one, because this is a really cool cover. It's an homage cover. So let me try and show this to you really quick.
Yeah.
You see where it says dates of future past. Getting her number was just the beginning, because he does meet somebody. I might add. That's really cool. And it's also autographed, which is super cool. That's why I chose this cover, because it fits this story. And so after he falls through, it's just literally a subsequent thing. And not only does he fall through, and I'll let Jay kind of flip through, but the art sometimes changes depending on the time period he's in. Like he goes back into like 1966 or 60s, I think, at first, and he helps a crew, and that's kind of done almost in like a golden age, right?
Yeah.
So something like that, but it's done in that kind of similar art style. He goes forward in time into the future. They change the art up a little bit for that. It's just really cool stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and like I said, he's looking through it right now, but that's how it is, and it's super cool. And the team of creators on this is huge, and I think it's because of that particular reason where there's the different types of art. So yeah, that's basically what the premise of the whole thing is. He just travels through time, and I believe it ends with him stuck in one, and that's where they leave it off. It's a nice cliffhanger. It's a great opening issue. So I thought that was cool. The series itself is written by Charlie McKelvey. Please tell me if I got that right. Illustrator is D.C. Stolpner. And then you got a whole slew of other people that helped write and do art. Vito Del Sante, Ariel Medel, Oliver Castaneda, Juan Castro, John Roush, Scott Fogg, Ian Sharman, and David Wynn.
Wow.
I mean, a lot of people contributed to this book.
That's
and
awesome.
I know you can't really see it from here. This is not a thin book by any means.
Oh, yeah.
This is not your typical like 27-page like you get in a comic store.
Yeah, that's a thick boy.
The one thing I will talk about that for me was the most hilarious moment of the entire book, Jay, I don't know if you found it when he was flipping through, they do a Street Fighter style fight scene between the panda
Yes.
and another guy, and it's I don't remember if they were home when I was reading this, but I read it and I burst out loud laughing the moment they set this fight up. So it is an extremely entertaining book. You know, I do love my horrors, my serious stories that really grab you emotionally, but this is the kind of book that you need to read when you need a break from all of that. This is just fun, lighthearted, good story, everything you could ask for that will really just kind of, get you to chuckle and then move on, because there are just times, man, there are those stories. Get over here.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The stories that grab you. Something that I note is I'm noticing that not recently, and not that it's been overdone yet, but so far I've seen 2 people that have used a Back to the Future cover.
Yeah. I know where you're going with this.
And I don't hate on it at all because Back to the Future is my favorite trilogy. That is a trilogy that we own it. But if it comes on TV, I'm gonna watch every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not mad at it. It's a very dope cover. It kind of looks like Stone Cold getting out of the DeLorean.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm gonna have to check that out because I remember you talking about it, and I thought it sounded super interesting.
Yeah. So the other cover he's talking about, shout out to another YouTube channel, Bearded Comic Bro.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his wife got a variant of a comic, and it's done in the Back to the Future style. So head on over to their channel. They do have an unboxing of it. Check out the cover. It's super cool. We're happy for them.
Yeah.
Check out his content. They are extremely entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Just for the dynamic of he's the big comic geek. She is now. He's finally got her. She read her first one on a video recently. Now he's got her comic hunting. So it's a very cool dynamic between the two of them. I think some of the most entertaining ones are the guess that name that character ones. Those are the good ones.
Everything Spider-Man. I love that because she says it with such confidence. I love that.
So yeah. So Bearded Comic Bro, head on over, check their channel out as well.
Awesome. All right, so the last one that I got literally dropped technically, what was it, September 15th?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like last night. I don't know when this video is going to be shown. That's why I try to stay away from saying the dates of when we're doing stuff because I never know when we're going to have the video actually up. But it dropped very recently, and this is Pocus Hocus. Yes, I said that right. It's Pocus Hocus. Pocus is a magician.
Yeah.
He has
I love this one.
gotten actual magical powers from a demon that he's made a deal with. Well, now he wants to break the deal. But unfortunately, the demon has lost his soul in a card game. On the campaign page, they got a couple pages for you to read. Now this is another one of those number 2 or 1 and 2. So they're giving you a shot to get number 1 if you missed the first campaign, and I'm telling you, you should get both of them. If you missed the last campaign, you should get both of them. This story is so good. It sucked me in. I was done with the book, and I was just like, oh man, that's it. And this is not a small book either.
No.
But it sucks you in, and you're invested in the character from the get-go. This is written by Alan Dunford and Will Radford, who, this is the first comic they've ever written. And I've told them, for folks who have never written a comic before, they knocked it out of the park with this. This is going to be a great series. I hope that eventually this makes it into stores.
Yeah.
But it's colored by Jason Smith, illustrated by Brian Bellondo, and Brian also does a lot of the cover work. And the cover I got, which there's an unboxing video for the first Pocus Hocus, the cover I got is it's beautiful. It is beautiful. And it's lettered by our good friend Dave Lentz. Again, we will broken record this. All these links will be down in the description. If any of these sound interesting, make sure you go and check them out. But that's the last one I have for today.
Dave Lentz, you say?
Yep, Dave Lentz.
Dave Lentz.
Mm-hmm.
The man that does not know how to take a break.
That's true.
Why do I say that, you ask? Because the last one that I'm here to talk about, Midnight Highway, Dave just happens to be the letterer on that one as well. Another fun fact, for anybody who goes and backs Pocus Hocus, there is an option. Apparently the creator of Midnight Highway, Mike Tenner and Alex Madej, I guess they're all friends or same publishing company, because as part of one of the add-ons, you can get Midnight Highway 1 and 2 as well, along with Pocus Hocus 1 and 2.
How dope is
So, take our word for it. You want all of these. So, Midnight Highway, what is it about? It's about a guy and his Trans Am who get lost on a supernatural highway. And it's just loads of fun.
Cool.
And the colors in this book are outrageous, but they need to be because of the type of story this is. The artwork is literally one of the things that makes this book what it is. Colorist is Hedwin Zaldivar. Artist is Alexander Malashe. If I got that wrong, please let me know. And of course, we already know who the letterer is because it's a guy that never sleeps. I think he just sits there, or if he is sleeping, he's doing this.
He's so good he can just let her in his sleep.
Yeah.
I believe that.
That's what Dave does. I mean, Dave's literally been on, I want to say,
oh my
3 or 4 of like the last several books he's done. This one for me. But like I said, and it was reasonably priced. I jumped on it. I grabbed issues 1 and 2 because I want to say that I jumped on. It was issue 2 was the actual campaign, and then I like my back issues. The funny thing is I want to say when I backed the campaign, he'd already backed Pocus Hocus, and I just happened to spot that was actually an add-on on the Midnight Highway campaign. So when he said, "Hey, Pocus Hocus just went live for number 2," we were scrolling through, and we were like, "Yeah, let's see if the trend continues." Yep, there it is. So these 2 campaigns and books are intertwined. Take it from us. If you like one, you're going to like the other. So if you have the opportunity, just grab all of them.
Oh yeah.
In my opinion, I'm waiting on the physical copies. I got my digital part of the campaign already, so I've cheated. Not really cheated, but we've gone through. We've read all these, so it's. I sound like a broken record, but it's fun. I don't know what it is lately. I guess maybe the heavy stuff it's been wearing me down, man.
I know.
But these last several stories have been just the most fun, and it reminds me of what makes comics great. You can have the ones that literally will make you tear up. You can have the ones that will make you angry. You can have the ones that will make you laugh until you're on the floor. That's what I love about it. And so that way you just got a little something. Get these. Get Spider Squirrel. Get all of them. That's all I can say. You need to buy all of these books because they each offer something different.
Exactly. Like I said, Gilgamesh, other than the few pages that I've looked at, that's one that I know nothing about. Nothing about. But the other 2 that I mentioned, Immortal Era and Pocus Hocus, I've been following Immortal Era since I think issue 2, and I've been following Hocus Pocus since the jump, and they're both really good books. Pocus Hocus, I almost mess it up every time I say it. Pocus Hocus is just a fun story. It gets heavy for a second, but other than that, it's really good, and I love doing Kickstarters. I don't do so much Indiegogo, and we need to start kind of looking through that. But as far as Kickstarter goes, I love looking at Kickstarters because you never know when you're going to find this gem that's like, this is better than anything I've read that has come from a bigger company. Because these folks, they kind of have to go that extra mile because they're trying to sell you their book, and a lot of these, you just find those diamonds in the rough where you're just like, this is better. This is so good. Yeah. And I hope that Kickstarter continues this trend of bringing people who, maybe have tried to get a book published before and they just haven't been able to. They haven't been able to find that right company or a company that wants it. So they go to Kickstarter, and Kickstarter is where they take off. Mm-hmm. So.
Well, folks, it's time for us to hit that old dusty trail. We hope that we've informed you about this stuff, and know we're always on Kickstarter, checking it out. We're on several times a week, just checking out, see if there's campaigns. I guarantee there's probably stuff that I've forgotten about that I'm actually interested in, but I just haven't backed it yet. As we said, we're going to try and leave links to the active campaigns down below. I'll leave a link to Coffin Comics down there so you can go check out all of the Lady Death universe. Again, anybody's names we got wrong, please let us know. We do apologize. And other than that, do you have anything else that you need to add?
Just support comics, support creators, check out Kickstarter, and support your local comic book store.
All right, everyone. So, as always, you stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you guys next time. Later, everyone.
Later, Tots.